Mic check, mic check. Hello, hello, mic check, making sure everything works. Awesome, so audio's working just fine, just gotta wait for Elliot to get on. Aww. How's the video? I mean, I realize it's not really doing anything at the moment, but is the video still doing buffering? Is it actually showing? Well, at least we're not disconnecting.
Hey there.
Hello, hello. Just so you know, we are currently on the air. As soon as you head on down, I do have the Twitch stream going already with the recording.
All right.
So if you want to retweet that as well, that would probably be a big help.
I definitely will. Let me just log in first, since we've got a little while until...
Don't forget to turn names off before you come down.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Welcome, Solus. Thank you for joining us in the Twitch chat today. Okie dokie doo. I just reposted it on Twitter.
Yep, and I've retweeted it, and I just need to figure out what I'm wearing and get down there.
Okie doke. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 viewers today. Not bad. Not bad at all. By the way, do we know when the Square Enix panel is? Not just 14?
Not off the top of my head, I'm afraid.
Okay. So what do you think of the other panels? Well, I keep calling them panels, but they're press conferences.
I think Sony did a fairly good job. Nintendo did a great job of selling you on the Wii U if you already have a Wii U. EA had an awful lot of focus on sports games, which I didn't care about before and certainly don't now. And I guess Ubisoft had a thing.
Yeah, I have to say I was expecting good things from Nintendo, but I was actually really blown away. I mean, Zelda U. Oh.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that's not until next year. That's not going to be... It's like that's just far away enough that there's a lot that can change between now and then. So it definitely looked gorgeous, but I don't know how much of that is actually going to be what we see when the game actually comes out.
Well, given the track record of Zelda trailers to actual releases, usually it's the same or better. But I'm definitely, I guess I'm going to be investing in Amiibo. I was avoiding Skylanders like the plague and Disney Infinity like the plague, but now I have no choice. Smash Bros. Looks like it's going to be amazing. That, what was it? Splooshed? No, Splatoon, that's it. Splatoon looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks like a fun multiplayer thing. Say, Nell, I can't help but notice there's something different about you today.
Maybe it's the hair.
That must be it.
I wonder.
Oh, I know what it is. I can't believe I was this dumb. You didn't have the insignia on your carpentry top before.
That's it, obviously. Obviously.
That's what it was. Oh, silly me.
Yay, and we got Zyle in the chat. Welcome. And Zaren's into keeping a moderate on us. So we'll have to behave. And the stream's going to be going up in about 25 minutes, I think. Because I usually get everything started about 5 minutes early to make sure everything's working. Let's see. Was there any games in total, like from all of them, that kind of stood out to you?
I'm trying to think. There were some games that I was already looking forward to that, they showed, and I was happy to see them, but it wasn't like this has not been a year when it's like I've been eager to say, oh my god, guys, you don't know this game. I never heard about it today, but it's coming out and we have to get it. We have to get it. We have to get it. Like, okay, I'm glad to see stuff for the new Dragon Age. The Mario Maker looks really cool, although that rumor had already been going around, so that wasn't really all that surprising. Nothing that really surprised me. A lot of stuff that either, okay, yeah, I'm still interested in this, or yeah, it's still a thing if you're interested in it.
Yeah, I kind of had that, I don't want to say underwhelmed and overwhelmed feeling about a lot of the trailers for a lot of the games that were shown. Some of them were pretty cool, but I was like, this is great, but I won't buy it or play it. Although, I didn't catch the trailer for it, but I did see some people talking about it afterwards. I never caught the name. There was some kind of new horror game that's going to be coming out closer to Halloween. It's like supposed to be like a psychological horror where the monsters and everything are going to be moving around randomly, so that way no two playthroughs will ever be identical.
No, I maybe I just missed that. I don't remember seeing anything about it, but I could just.
Well, it looks like it's going to be interesting. It's got kind of a little bit of an RPG element to it too, where like you collect this. If I remember correctly, they call it like green goop or something, and you can use it to enhance your stats by injecting it into yourself. And I think using it also makes the game more challenging because it apparently makes you go more and more insane or something.
Well, if we find the name of that, we will talk about it more.
Indeed, I'm going to have to go through every single trailer after this is all said and done and try to find that.
Miss Celestine, such a game does not exist. I think you must have dreamed it.
Well, if I dreamed it, it's time to make it a reality, because now that I've mentioned it, someone's going to make it.
Really? Is that all it takes? Hey, in that case, I'm going to mention a few things here. Let's see. A next-gen Metroid game that's actually fun to play. Another Silent Hill game that's actually fun to play.
Hey, look.
Mega Man Legends.
Hey, Legends 3, I sent you a link on that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, great. So let's keep going. I'm going to...
For those of you who are listening in, Legends 3 was canceled, obviously, 2 years ago. And Capcom basically said it was because there wasn't enough fan support.
Which anyone who has met the fan community for Mega Man Legends knows right away that is, at best, a result of not marketing it correctly, and more than likely a complete lie, because, come on, Legends 3.
So, there's a fan group out there right now in Japan that are actually they self-taught themselves programming, editing, computer graphics, and everything, and have already started rebuilding Legends 3 from scratch, and will be making it free. That's right, 100% free. I don't know about you, but you can't get much better than that.
Well, you could get a new spiritual successor to the Mega Man series. Oh, wait, we are getting that, so...
Well, yeah. It's going to be coming out sometime next year, and I've already got my Kickstarter pre-order stuff, so I'm good.
Yeah, no, I backed the Kickstarter. I'm looking forward to the game myself.
I plan on actually buying it again, like 2 or 3 times on top of that. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to be getting my Kickstarter version, and I will probably get that on 3DS. I will be buying another copy for Aurora's 3DS, and then we'll be buying a copy for the Wii U, and probably the PS3/PS4.
I'm probably just going to stick with the 3DS, but I do appreciate the plethora of consoles that it's available on, or will be available on.
I'm just like, gotta have it, need.
Well, see, in my household, I am the only one who is a fan of the Mega Man games in my household, so it's really only a necessity for me.
No, I can understand that. But,
You say grudge. I can understand.
It's not so much that as much as it is. The C3 has not excited me as much as I usually expect. Maybe it's just me getting disgruntled with a lot of the game industry. But I got the feeling from watching Xbox and watching Sony and watching Ubisoft and watching EA that the majority of games coming out these days is bro shooter, shoot 'em up, bro shoot. Now, not to say that could be a bad thing, because everybody enjoys their own tastes in games, but I don't understand the overall hype that, oh look, we are making a beta for yet another Battlefield, and we're coming up with yet another Call of Duty, and we're releasing yet another Halo.
No, they're not releasing another Halo. They're re-releasing all of the existing Halos.
It's not the point. The point is you're releasing another version of the same shooter again.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other stuff that's coming out too. I mean, I fully agree with you. I'm tired as heck of the, constant string of, oh, look, it's another console first-person shooter. Pardon me while I go pre-order that. No, I don't play them.
One exception on that. That Rainbow Six, if that is purely cooperative play and not versus, that looks like it could be fun.
I still, another shooter. I know these games exist. I know they're going to sell a lot of copies, and I know they're going to sell a lot of copies to a lot of people who claim to be tired of them, not counting you in that equation. I don't focus on those. Those are not what I'm interested in when it comes to E3. I'm more and that's the point when I just kind of tune out. It's like E3, EA's presentation during E3 was, oh, great, Dragon Age. Hey, another Mass Effect. Okay, sports.
It wasn't
oh,
even
Mirror's
another
Edge.
Mass Effect. It was,
Battlefield.
Here's some concept 3D art for Mass Effect.
Well, yeah, and the N7 stuff. But, we all knew it was coming. We've been getting teased on it for years now.
One of the comments in our chat, Solus says, another Halo and re-releasing new versions of older Halo are equivalent statements.
Yeah, pretty much. But then again, I mean, you can say the same thing about Zelda. It's the same game each time.
I
Fun
actually
game.
saw an interesting picture earlier today.
Oh?
It basically had like about 5 or 6 games on the left side, and it was like Metal Gear, Final Fantasy, and like a whole bunch of other ones, like 10, 12, 13 different versions.
Mm-hmm.
And it has somebody there going, wow, I'm going to be able to enjoy playing new versions of all my favorite classics. And then the next picture over has got like Pokemon, Punch Out, and all that. It's like, oh my god, all you're doing is playing rehash. You're killing the industry.
Yeah, no, they're not. Well, if anyone's really still excited about... Is anyone still excited about the new Metal Gear? I can't...
I know some people who are excited about Metal Gear, and to be completely honest, I do love the story. It's just gameplay wise, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, let's this was a landmark series. It was incredibly important, but I think it's a series that kind of I don't want to say wore out its welcome exactly, but it's kind of past
Well,
its prime.
I think after 3, it just kind of got stale at that point because with the camo thing in 3, that was interesting. Like the whole taking it out of an urban and putting it into more of a jungle environment, and now it's just basically. I don't know. It just seems a little bit weird. I haven't played Peace Walker myself. I've heard that's supposed to be pretty good, but
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Around the time of 3, it was like, okay, 3 did interesting things, but I'm kind of done with this concept. I get it. There are a lot of, stealth games are a thing now. We get it. It's really just, again, kind of redoing the same thing over and over again, or it's taking it in directions so far removed from the original concept that it no longer really feels like a Metal Gear game, except for the 3 hours of cutscenes.
oh, you're talking about Revengeance.
Well, that definitely doesn't, but
But yeah, there was a lot of interesting games. Have you did you get a little bit psyched up about the Xenoblade Chronicles X?
oh, of course I did. I would love it. Again, 2015, so we don't know what's going to happen between now and then in terms of development. But no, there were several things on display for Sony and for Nintendo that I was very excited about. New Xenoblade Chronicles, Yoshi, new Kirby.
The Kirby one looked fun, and Yarn Yoshi, or well, technically Yarn Yoshi was the old name. It was like Yoshi's Woolen what?
Yoshi's Woolly World or something like that. I think that was it.
That sounds
But
adorable, and the gameplay did look fun.
well, yeah, any platformer with Yoshi, I am 100% in support of.
Also, did you see some of the indie stuff that we're getting?
Yes.
We're getting Shovel Knight.
Oh no, there was some great indie stuff on display for everyone. Everyone had some neat indie stuff on display and neat third party stuff, so that was really cool.
I'm glad to see Nintendo branching out into some of the North American third parties because they are pretty heavy into the third parties in Japan, but not so much here for the indie stuff.
Yeah, and it's been changing over time, but the 3DS especially is a perfect platform for indie stuff, and I honestly expected more focus on here is more indie stuff that we are bringing on to the 3DS and the Wii U than I'd expected more of a focus on that.
Hopefully, they'll be able to branch out the Virtual Console more. Maybe add some new titles that were originally like Japanese exclusives. I'm looking at you, Mother 3, and possibly allow you to have like one buy keeps it on your account. So like if I buy Mario 3 on the Wii U, I could also have it on my 3DS provided my accounts are linked.
And that would be, again, one of the strongest things that Nintendo has going for it is the way that all of its consoles are kind of in the same family. So again, the idea that you buy this on the Virtual Console in one place, you have it. You own the game now. Of course, then again, that would prevent them from earning revenue from me buying Kirby's Adventure on literally every single Nintendo platform as I get it. So,
well, I suppose I can understand that perspective. But it's better than... I hate to throw this one out there, but it's better than PlayStation Plus, where you can have the games as long as you pay the monthly fee.
yeah. It's debatable which one is better. On the one hand, with PlayStation Plus, it kind of winds up being a subscription. It is a subscription service, which is good and bad. It's like, it's nice to have this game freely accessible, but it kind of sucks when I was just enjoying that. Now I don't have it anymore. At the same time, it is... sometimes you're going to try games because of PlayStation Plus that you wouldn't try any otherwise. So it's a back and forth.
True, but this is why I prefer physical copies.
I'd like to prefer physical copies too. I don't see that I see that increasingly being a fringe thing. Well, especially when, I mean, you and I have talked about this before. I bought a big memory card for my 3DS when I first bought it, and that was it. I'm not buying another cartridge. I can't lose a 3DS download. I can't, it's just there on my console, and it actually makes me more fond of the 3DS than I was of the DS, partly because of that. Like, I liked that with my PSP, I could just have a bunch of games loaded on there and just play them whenever I wanted to, and I can do the same thing on my 3DS now. The last game I actually bought, like the physical copy of, was Theatrhythm, and assuming they're smart and make Theatrhythm Curtain Call a download, then I'm just going to download it.
Well, I can kind of understand that, but from my perspective, at least for me, I like being able to go over to the shelf, pull something off the shelf and play it. Like, being able to see that I physically own it, not, oh, I have it downloaded. It feels different.
No, it does, and it definitely contributes to that feel. Like, my wife and I's game library has been steadily shrinking because we've been getting rid of older titles that we realized we're not going to play, and most of our newer titles are downloads or, stored away. We know we have them, but you can't look at them unless, you boot up the system. At the same time, if I'm going on a long trip or I'm going to be away from my house for a while, then, I can just bring my 3DS and I have a whole bunch of titles with me right there. And I don't have to worry about, driving down to a store and seeing if it's available and all that. I can just download it. I can just have it loaded right there. So it can go either way. I'm not saying that digital distribution is better, but I will say that I'm not really turned off by it. There are things I prefer about the classic model. There are times I prefer having a physical copy. Oddly enough, I really like having physical copies of MMOs, despite the fact that once the game shuts down, those physical copies are completely useless.
Yeah, I can understand that. But you're getting rid of games and not telling me?
Well, we have actually here. If you want to look through some of the old stuff that we're getting rid of, believe me, we have. This was like last year that we did our last big pattern of tossing a bunch of stuff out. So if you want me to pass that along to you, I will. I don't think most of it's really anything you'd want, though.
Yes, like yeah. As someone who likes the physical copies, yeah.
Well, it's not like we're getting rid of gold here. It's not like we're like, oh man, what are we gonna do with these 3 copies of Xenogears? Throw them in the garbage. Huh. We have the whole Breath of Fire series here. I guess I'll just back them over them with my car.
Oh, that reminds me of a horror story.
Oh, look, Suikoden 1 and 2. I guess I'll just toss it in the food processor.
Well, you could do that for 1, but not 2.
No, those are the games that, like, we keep. We don't get rid of. Although if I did have well, actually, I probably would have gotten rid of my copy of Xenogears by this point because it's on PSN and I have it on my PSP.
And I already have it anyway.
Well, yes. But I would have gotten rid of it by finding, well, like my copies of Mega Man Legends and Mega Man Legends 2. I found someone who had never played them and said, okay, $10 for both of them.
I've got Legends 2, but I can't find my PS1 version of Legends 1.
Yeah.
But I do have Chocobo Racing.
Yes, I know. I'm very jealous of that.
When you come up, you'll have to play it sometime.
Yes.
And I will beat you with Fat Chocobo.
I'm sure you will. My actual racing skills are not all that great.
But I mean, like, as an example, if you were to have a choice between the physical copy of Lunar Silver Star Story Complete or a digital download, which would you prefer?
At this point in my life, kind of neither, but I did like the fact back in the day when I first bought it that it was like, wow, I didn't just buy a disc. I bought like a whole collection of stuff. And then they did the same thing for Lunar 2, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, both of those are right on the shelf. That's why I noticed them.
No, I still have some of the stuff from the from the little box sets that they put out, which were really nice. Or I still cherish the Persona 3 box release with a little art book. That was nice.
I don't have that. I don't have that little art book.
Although it does spoil a major portion of the story if you have the art book. So,
well, considering I've beaten it about 20 times, I don't think spoilers for me.
Well, yes, but I had not, when I first looked through it, I had not beaten the game 20 times.
Do you still have that?
I do not. Basically, we had a friend of ours lent us the game on a long-term loan because he tends to buy a lot of games and not play them right away. So he lent it to us on a long-term loan. So we played it, looked through the art book, loved it, and he finally did ask for it back after we spent months and months raving about it. So he has that. We got our own copy of P3 FES and then P3 Portable.
Yeah, but I need to get like hands on a copy of P3 Vanilla.
Yeah, no, that art book is gorgeous.
Speaking of which, have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't watched most of the adaptations, mostly because I've been of the mind that, well, I know how these stories end, so less interested.
Well, I can send you a link for a subtitled version of the first movie.
Oh, cool. Go ahead.
I'll send it after the stream because I don't want
it. Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually pretty good, but you have to remember that the first movie is more so setting up the storyline, because just like the beginning of the game, it's kind of slow at the beginning.
Yep.
But the second movie just came out a couple days ago.
Okay. Making sure everything's...
Something I found out on NeoGAF about the movie set is they're not doing 4 movies for the series.
Oh?
They're doing 5.
Ooh.
You do realize what that means if they're doing 5 and they're labeling it with seasons, right?
Yes.
For those of you who aren't aware, spring, summer, there's Spring of Birth, which is the first movie, A Midsummer's Night Dream, then there's going to be a fall-based movie, a winter-based movie, and that'll be the last movie for the Persona 3 series, followed by a 5th movie, which will most likely be based on The Answer, or episode I guess in Japan.
In other words, you won't need to watch that movie. You really won't need to watch that one.
No! The movie adaptation will make it up for like the 60 hours of grinding!
Right, so instead of focusing on the weak gameplay and story, you can focus on just the weak story side of things.
The story wasn't that weak.
It basically threw out everyone's character development so that we could redo that character development in a closed room mystery.
There was some aspect of that I can agree with, but it was more so along the lines of it was showing their past, dealing with the grief of the end of the game, and then moving forward. And I believe that they can actually probably do that much better in a movie format than they could in the game, because like you said, in the game, they rolled back a little bit on the character development, but with the movie aspect of it, they'll be able to keep that in there because there's not going to be as much character development in the movie.
I'm still probably just going to skip that. I'll just... I think probably the best character development that, the moving on after the events comes in, Persona 4 Arena, where it turns out that apparently, for instance, Mitsuru moved on from the events of Persona 3 by dressing all in black and cutting people up with a sword.
Speaking of which, I'm looking forward to Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
That will be fun.
Indeed. I like the fact that Ken and Koromaru are one character type.
Yes.
I wonder if they're going to include any other new characters or bring in anybody else. Was there anybody else in P3?
There were a lot of... I haven't looked recently at the list. I'm sure they could fit people in from P3 if they really wanted to.
There's anybody left from P3.
Oh, we are 8 minutes out now.
just about there. There's one character they could bring in from P3, but I don't think that would go over very well. Either it would go over very poorly, or it would be absolutely amazing.
I think I'm thinking of the same person. I'm for it. I think that would be awesome.
Well, considering the end, like the canonical end for the previous one, it would make sense. I mean, you remember doing Elizabeth's storyline in that, right?
Yes.
So, if she succeeds, yeah, it would work. Alright, so, since we're only a few minutes out, let's focus on the task at hand.
Yep.
What are you thinking we're going to see first?
Okay. What are we going to see first? Okay, I'm going to say what everyone I think is thinking, and I think first we're going to see expansion announcement. I think that's good. They're going to launch off with that, and then we're going to kind of roll backwards and downwards. I think we're going to launch off with that. I think we're going to see more about new classes, and then I think we're going to talk more about 2.3, which is coming out fairly soon.
Okay, I'm thinking we're going to start off with talking a little bit about 2.3, because I know that they showed kind of a trailer. Not for just 2.3, but they showed it was kind of like an overall trailer where it went through 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, and showed a little bit of teaser 2.3, including Ramu and Shiva. So we might see a little bit more about that, especially with the fact that Shiva is on their bags that they're giving out at E3 this year. But I think they're going to start off there. We're going to hit some basic questions, probably some information about the fan festival, and then maybe go into teasers about potential expansion.
Well, it's not really a potential at this point if we know what's happening.
True. But I mean, like...
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
they haven't officially announced it yet, so technically, yes, it's still... But we all know it's coming.
True enough. Just a couple minutes to go, and then we'll be live. Well, technically we're live, but...
Yes, they're not live yet. Which means our live reactions are mostly not to anything yet.
Alright, so... let's see. What else could they discuss on there? Because they're most likely going to be answering a bunch of questions. That'll probably take up I'm guessing in the last half hour is going to be mostly questions. Maybe even the last hour and the first half hour is going to be showing stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's part of why I think they're going to lead off with the biggest stuff first, and then they're going to kind of roll backwards.
One of the reasons they ask the questions in advance is this way they can plan it out and pace it.
But I guess we will see in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, I doubt they're going to basically just go information and then just go la 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 for the next hour and a half, you know?
Probably not.
If anything, we'll start off strong, we'll dance around in the middle, and then we'll get hit hard with something at the end is my guess.
See, I think they're going to start off strong, and then sort of now that we have your attention, here in the middle we're going to answer some questions, and here's some more stuff for you.
Yeah, they're going to definitely hit us with something big, very, very right off the bat. Possibly even new jobs, but whatever it is, it's going to be something that's going to be something that we already know or expect. And I think the closing is going to be something that we're not expecting.
That would be nice. Also, if you have your Final Fantasy XIV live letter bingo cards, I would get them ready right now.
I don't have it. Send me a link.
You don't have a bingo card? Oh my. Hold on a minute. Hopefully we can get you one in time.
Oh no, I need a bingo card.
Ah, there we go. There you go.
Okay, I got my bingo card ready now. No, I have not locked up the house because of the fact that we have Elliot in the house. And Elliot is not technically a member.
I felt that was an appropriate reaction.
Okay, so we are ready to go
Also,
in for about a minute and a half.
also, just as an FYI, if we do get, Ninja as a tank class, then I will stand up and start doing the Manderville, and I don't think I'm going to stop for the remainder of the live letter.
Well, if you're going to do the Manderville, you might want to stand slightly to your character's right so that way you're better on the camera.
I will stand on your chair and do the Manderville.
Oh, God. Alright. Come on, live letter. Go ahead and start, baby. We're less than a minute to go. Do you have the Twitch broadcast up, or do you have YouTube?
I'm watching via Twitch.
Same here, okay. And that's what I have on the stream as well, so we're all good. Although I have to say this bingo card is slightly disappointing. I was expecting the Yoshi-P panel in the center to say, please look forward to it.
Yeah, I was sad that there was no please look forward to it. And also I was a little sad that Chocobo breeding is basically a free space too.
I dislike the fact that this one has no Dark Knight on it. I don't want to click that bingo card.
I know.
I want my dark. Okay, so should be up any second now. It's 4 Eastern. Is it up for you, or?
No, I'm not seeing anything yet. Very soon. Probably setting everything up.
Please look forward to it. Alright, come on. Come on, Yoshida. We want Yoshi-P. We want Yoshi-P.
I'm just getting my bingo card ready to mark. You think I'm joking?
No. No, I know you're serious. Although I'm pretty sure that the panel here with new Eorzea collection video will definitely be happening.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure many of these things will be happening, but I'd like to be sure that Ninja is in fact a tank class.
If Gunner is in fact a healing class, I will start shaking my hands in the air and go, "It's happening!"
The tears, they will flow, and they will taste exactly like candy.
Now, whether or not that's the case, we'll see how it goes. But if it is a healer class, and if it's fun, I might try it. At the very least,
apparently YouTube has started.
Okay. Let's try. I'm gonna try refreshing the Twitch stream here.
Okay.
Worst to worst, I will load up the YouTube stream. No. Yeah, not sure if it's still on. Not sure if it's on Twitch yet.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna bring it up on YouTube.
Yep.
You know me on the forum. If you visit the Final Fantasy XIV forums as Bayonne, I'll be the host and trying to get as much information as possible from Yoshida-san. So without further ado, let me introduce producer director Naoki Yoshida.
よろしくお願いします。早くからもうブース前もすごい人だし、日本でもね、多分
Free panel for Yoshi is now marked off.
I mean, right now we've got a ton of people in front of the booth, a ton of people lined up, and even though it's 4 o'clock in the morning in Japan, there's a lot of people listening in. 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock. Okay.
I know how that feels. That's how we feel during a normal letter from the producers, so we're very used to that on our side too. So outside, you talked about a little bit, but right outside we have the Final Fantasy XIV Battle Challenge against Leviathan. And what do you think so far? How do you think it's been going out there?
外にレバイアさんのバトルチャレンジが今、たった今、行われているんですけど、どうですか見てて。
さっきチーム名が勝って大喜びしましたね。でもうすごい列でブース取り囲むぐらいもう並んでるんで。
We just had, I guess, our first round, and out of the first round, one team actually defeated Leviathan and got the T-shirts. But there is currently a line going all the way around our booth for people looking forward to play it. So.
Yes, it is. It's almost wrapped around the entire booth, and it's going to be very packed. But hey, you know, one team out of 3 is not too bad. That's a good start, I guess you could say. Hopefully, everybody gives them some good well wishes to beat it and get that awesome T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you for joining us. I know you got some exciting stuff to talk about, so let's move on. We also have with us joining is Michael Christopher Koji Fox, localization lead of Final Fantasy XIV.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. You guys may know him as Fern Halls on the forum.
That's me.
Actually, you know, speaking of, it seems like you disappeared for some time there during the from the forum.
Yeah, I took a little bit of leave I had my first son
congrats
last year
to Fern
in
Walls.
February.
Yes,
A little bit of
big
time off,
congratulations.
Help rear the child, teach him how to, tank properly on FF14.
Nice.
He's 16 months now. He needs to, be a proper tank. So.
That's awesome.
But yeah, since April 1st, I'm back
Yeah.
with the team. And so this is my first time doing interpreting. Since
Don't
I
teach
came
him to
back.
tank
So
properly.
it's been
Teach him
about
to be a
year.
dragoon that's not
I'm
going
a
to
little bit
die.
nervous.
Yeah, no pressure. I'm sure you're...
めっちゃ緊張してるね。
Yes, I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous.
Yoshida's reverse translating now, so he'll handle all his own translations if you have any problems. Don't worry. Well, that's great. I'm glad you guys could both be here. I'm sure everybody is excited at home and ready for all the excitement. So I guess let's go ahead
I
and
know
get
we
started.
are.
そうプロデュースされたライブはね、普段からどうしても日本で放送するとその日本時間になっちゃうし、日本語放送ばっかりなんですけど、今回はね E3 ってこともあって、できるだけ北米の皆さんの質問に答えつつ英語で放送していこうと思ってますんで、はい、よろしくお願いします。
Okay, I mean, normally, we have our Producer Data Lives in Japan, and so it's always done in Japan time. So it's usually very early or very late for our users in Europe and in America.
Yes.
But this is E3. This is the biggest game show in the West. So we wanted to do it for our Western users, and we wanted to make sure that the questions that we answered were also questions that our Western users had posed to us. And so we hope to answer a bunch today. So let's get to it.
Yeah. We gathered a really good kind of cross section, not just hardcore, but also some fun questions. So I guess let's go ahead and get started. We chose.
They're starting with the questions. Okay.
A lot of the likes. So let's go ahead and start number 1. Yoshida, would you ever consider adding a hug emote?
抱きしめるハグのエモート
エモート
は、
か
追加する予定はありますでしょうか？
そうハグのエモート欲しいって声は結構あるのと、あと僕スラップヒッパタクが欲しいんで、この2つはちょっと早めに実装しようかって話をしてたりもするので、リストの中に入れて優先的に対応していこうと思います。
A lot of players in both Japan and the West have been asking for a hug emote.
Yes.
And I personally have wanted a slap emote for a long time. So we want to get those two in as quickly as possible. So
Awesome.
we're working on getting those two in.
Nice. So even no hurdle with animation, you guys will be able to get in there.
やっぱこうアニメーションの問題もあるんじゃないですか、ハグになる。
まあまあね、まあファイナルファンタジーだとどうしてもこうキャラクター同士が重なっちゃったりとかね、潜ったりって言うと思うんですけど、やっぱりなんだろう、例えばバインディングコイルとかもそうですけど、すごい苦しい戦いを切り抜けて勝った時ぐらいでみんなでこうねやりたいと思うんで、あんまりなんかグラフィックスのこと考えずに感情表現なんで入れたらいいんじゃないっていう話。
I mean, there's always the problem of, again, because it's an online game and there's different sizes of characters, that there might be graphic overlap and people might worry about that. But again, with a hug emote, it's about the emotion.
Right.
You know, you've gotten through the binding coil and everyone's excited. You know, you want to grab the person next to you and hug them and show that you
or slap
or
your
slap.
If your tanks are dead, slap them.
So we don't want to worry too much about that graphic overlap or issues like that, because we want the players to have the opportunity to be able to express their feelings.
I can agree with
I'm
that.
sure players are going to be really
Yeah,
excited to hear
there are
that.
going to be graphic
Let's
issues,
go ahead
but
on number 2.
the function.
So, have you ever thought about incorporating some relic type of equipment, like a main tool, for the Disciples of the Hand, Disciples of the Land?
クラフターギャザラー専用レリックは、実装する予定はありますでしょうか？
ちょうどパッチ 2.3 でクラフター、特にクラフターに向けて新しいサルベージっていうアイテムを分解してまた新しいアイテムを作ったり素材を手に入れたりっていうコンテンツが入ってきて、そこから派生してまたクラフターの使う道具のアップデートなんかも考えているので、この先のパッチをねぜひ楽しみに待っててほしいなと思います。
Okay. So in patch 2.3, we're going to be introducing the desynthesis system for the Disciples of the Hand. And so by taking items, desynthesizing them, getting new items, and then using these items to create new types of items as well. So this will open the door for the Disciples of the Hand and give them new opportunities. And then from there, maybe turning those into something in future patches is something that we're definitely thinking.
ちなみにさ、クラフターギャザラーのレリックって光るノコギリとか光るツルハシとかそっちが欲しいのかな。
So do you think that what the players want is like the relic weapons, they shine brightly and have the effects on them? Does someone really want like a glowing saw or a glowing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. I think they like to
Totally.
stand out. Even if
Could
they're
you
making
imagine a
eggs
pick
for
that's
their-
got all
for their
this
race
wind
group, they
energy
wanna
on it?
Show off.
I totally can.
光ってるこう
Elegant
光ってるのがいい
tools.
フライパンは欲しい。
ものすごいファイヤー出るやつとか。
Yeah, it's like flames coming out of the fire.
That would be awesome.
なるほどね。
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds like the
Yeah, flaming
maybe
frying pan
possibility
sounds
for the
fun.
future. So let's go on to our next question. So what is the status for the future for the other known areas that surround Coerthus that were appeared in 1.0?
QFF14 ではクルザスとモードゥナってまたたくさんのエリアあったじゃないですか。
はいはいはい
今は一つになってるんですけど、その他の4つのエリアはいずれか行けるようにはなりますでしょうか。
まずそもそも 1.0 のラストで第7連載のクライマックスでメテオが落ちてきてバハムートが出て世界を焼き尽くすっていう時に行けなくなってしまったエリアも特にモードナーに関してはあって、で今回そのパッチ 2.3 で、入るフロントラインっていうその戦場になるエリアがまさにカルテノ平原だったりするので、そこで新しく行けるエリアというか、そこ丸ごとフィールドが戦場になるので、なんか昔のモードナあたりが惨状でどうなったのかっていうのは、そこを見てもらえればわかるんじゃないかな。
So, as you know, at the end of the 1.0 story, Meteor came, destroyed
Bahamut came
A lot.
out,
Bahamut
broke
came
out.
Yeah, broke out. Parts of the world were demolished. Parts were blocked off.
Right.
And you can't get to them now. And so, but what we're going to be doing is opening up new areas, especially in 2.3 with the frontline PvP. A new area in the Cardinal Plains will become accessible.
Ooh.
And that being in close proximity to Mordona, you'll be able to see what happened to those areas that were destroyed.
Ooh, that's going to be
で、まあ
interesting.
クルザスに関しては
Yeah.
ねえ石
My
行きた
guess
いところ
about the
もあ
first
るだろう
expansion
し
is already wrong.
ね石ガルドとかね、まあそのあたりはねこれからの情報公開をお楽しみに。
As for Kurthus, well, yeah. I'm sure a lot of people really want to go to those areas in Kurthus, but hopefully soon we'll be able to go to those areas in Kurthus. Ishgard.
That kind
Other areas,
of thing, you know.
Oh, or was it not?
That's a nice subtle
I think,
hint.
well, I'm sure
That wasn't very subtle.
forums are
No,
exploding right
not
now.
really.
I'm sure people are going crazy in chat. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that,
right.
especially with frontline stuff. I'm really curious to see how that stuff's going to look. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So, in the last letter from the producer live, you talked about a ridiculously hard battle. You know, maybe making it so difficult that even the dev team themselves, maybe they couldn't even beat it. And then maybe, you know, maybe the reward would be something kind of interesting. So can you tell us a little bit more details about this kind of crazy hard battle you were thinking about?
まあ前回の、レターライブで、話に出てた、超難易度高い、コンテンツをこれから、入れるっていう話だったんですけど、それをもうちょっと詳細を教えてもらいたいんですけど。
まあ簡単に言ってしまうと、まあ大迷宮バハムートバインディングコイルのまあエクストリームモードを入れようという話をして。
Binding Coil Extreme, great.
Okay, so specifically speaking, we were talking about a harder level of the binding coil of Bahamut. An extreme or brutal mode. That's what we're calling it in English.
Oh, man.
で、今日本語名だと大迷宮バハムート霊式進行編っていう。
Yeah, that's in English. We're basically going to be calling it the brutal version because it will be brutal.
Oh,
で
boy.、
基本的にはそのバインディングコイル、まあ、進行編の、4つのボスが全てエクストリーム状態で出てくるんですけど、僕らそのバインディングコイル大迷宮バハムートエンドコンテンツ作るときって一番最初に仕様通りにすごい難しい状態で作って自分たちでプレイしながら少しずつこうギミックを調整していって、まあ、プレイヤーの皆さんにリリースするんですけど、今回出そうとしてるのはその一番最初にだからまさにタイプ0
Okay.
作った状態で僕らもクリアできるかどうかわからない。
Okay. So how we're going to be doing this is this brutal battle is going to basically be a powered up version of all 4 bosses that you experience in the coil. And when we first did our design for the binding coil, and we made a very, very difficult battle, and then we started adjusting it based on how difficult it was. And what we released in the final version was the adjusted version.
Right.
Something that we thought that would be very difficult, but players could get through.
Yeah, they could
what we're
still
going
beat
to be releasing now is basically that Type 0, that first version that we originally made that none of us could beat. And we don't know if even we can beat it now. And we're going to leave it to the players to challenge.
Nice.
いや本当にだから最初例えばラフレシア
Well, I mean, if that's your bag, I guess
ト
that.
ラップで、まあ、動いたら爆発する
That'll give
ギミックも
people
最
like
初は
Lugarder good thing
み
to
んなにデ
strive
バフ
for.
がついてそのデバフがついてる状態で動くと爆発するっていう、まあ、仕様で作ろうとしてたんですけど処理がすごい複雑になってしまってその方法じゃちょっと実装できないっていう話になってで今の、まあ、コンテンツディレクターというそのプログラムがプレイヤーのステータスを監視するような作りになったんですけど最初だから僕らテストしてる時エフェクトもなくて突然爆発し死んでたんでこれはないだろうってだからそうやって一個ずつ細かくギミックって作っていくんですけど、まあそこまでさすがになんだろうノーヒントみたいな状態にはならないと思いますけどかなりランダム性も強くなると思うのでもう本当にクリアできるかどうかはもうプレイヤーの皆さんの腕次第じゃないか。
Okay. So, for example, like the battle with the Inflation, what they had originally planned was, that you would start in a debuffed type of status.
Okay.
And if you moved, it would explode and you would lose all of your hit points. And
Sure.
when we originally made it, there was not even an effect that went with that.
Oh,
you just
man.
kind of
You
started
had to-
losing
you had to know.
experience points. You had to know, and there was no hints at all. And so that's the type of challenge it's going to be. We don't want to go into it with completely zero hints,
Right.
but we want to make it more difficult in the sense that you're not going to know until you
Not gonna
actually
have that
experience.
kind of guide.
And, yeah, and then also we want to add more, basically make it more random as well, that you don't know what's going to come next. So it's going to be one of those things that we really don't know if the players will be able to complete this all. It's going to be that hard. That's why we call it brutal in the English version.
だからまあ今回はそのテスト的に実装する意味合いもあってそのエクストリーム霊式大迷宮バハムート霊式の方は、通常のタイプと同じ、ハイアラガンが普通にドロップしますクリアをすれば。
Okay. But even though we look at this as kind of a test, as it's it's going to be difficult for players, but whether the players can step up to the challenge, this type 0 battle. But that doesn't mean it's going to be completely rewardless. Rewards will be the same.
Nice.
So those drops will be the same.
ただその進行そのコンテンツが進んでるそのウィークリーのフラグも、
So you mean like the
共
drops
通
are
の
going
フラ
to
グ
be
に
the
な
same
って
as
しまうので。
the same turns that
エク
they're
ストリー
on?
ムの方行ってしまうとノーマルの方行けなくなる
Not clear.
まあも
Maybe-
し
I think he's
もう
going into
すでにバイ
more
ンディング
detail.
コイル4層突破した人たち8人揃わないとチャレンジできないので、ただし専用のその称号がそこにだけ用意されているので、ぜひねそれをネームタグにつけたい方は、挑んでみてほしいので。
Okay. And again, just so the players know, the weekly flag will be the same. So if you've already completed the normal version, you won't be able to go into extreme or the brutal version. And if you've already completed the brutal version, you won't be able to, vice versa.
Oh.
And people are going to have cleared the previous versions at least once. So you have to get 8 players that have all cleared the hardest versions to be able to go into this brutal version. But there will be a special title. If you clear it, you'll get the special title, and you can show that off to all the other
Okay,
players.
so the reward drops are the same as the original
No,
section
Yeah,
coil.
that's what it seems to be implied.
僕らが想像している
Which is fair, you know. If you really like that challenge, a title is perfectly fair.
作るときに、専用の報酬っていうのは考えてもいいかもねと。で今回はまずとにかく早めに皆さんに一回提供してみようっていう形になってます。
And so, we want to use this as a test to see how many players out there can actually, defeat this challenge. And if it looks like there's a lot of players that that can, and there's a lot of interest in these type of battles, then maybe for future brutal battles we'll add new types of loot. But for now, we're going to keep it the same as the original.
Makes sense. I know ever since they implemented titles now above your character, your nameplate, people have been showing off a lot of their exciting titles, so I'm sure this would be one that would fuel their pride.
予定ではパッチ 2.3 でいきますんで。
All right, so yeah, but we're planning this for patch 2.3.
Oh, nice.
So
Really?
That's awesome.
はい。
Okay, you know what? I feel like this is E3, and this is where we're supposed to have like the big announcements. And so far, we've been
Here we
having
go.
fun, talking
Yep.
about hugs, talking about brutal battles.
Talk
that's
about
all good.
hugs.
But, you've been talking about the expansion. You've been talking about we're working on it. You have to be working on, new jobs for the expansion, new classes for the expansion. You got to give us something. This is E3.
やっぱりここ E3 ですからやっぱこうハグはいいんですけど、やっぱもうちょっとビッグな。
I seriously want talking about hugs. I want that to be a meme now.
例えば拡張パック
I think
Talking about hugs.
everybody outside like to hear something. They're all going, yeah. Everybody
Expansion,
outside.
expansion, expansion.
じゃあせっかくね1年ぶり去年の E3 では、ローンチ直前でベータテストフェーズ3がね E3 明けから始まりますみたいな状態で、1年経って帰ってこれたので
Beta test
ここで
3 for probably
Yes.
the expansion.
新しいじゃあ情報を一つ動画でまずは見てもらおうかなと詳しい説明は見た後にします。
Okay, so and it's been a year since the last E3, and since we started beta, and we gave some good stuff back
Yeah,
at that E3,
last year
and
show.
because it's our second E3 and we're back here, we want to give you guys something special. So we're going to show you a video, and then we'll explain it after we've shown it.
Ooh.
じゃあぜひ注目してください。どう
All
ぞ
right,。take a look.
Here we go.
If this is the
Ninja! Oh my
Ninja.
god, it's Ninja! That looks fun!
One.
That's it. I found my new combat class.
No, that's my new combat. Rogue and Ninja.
Oh!
We've got both. Not clear yet which one is the class and which one is the job. Or if they are both jobs a la, Scholar and Summoner.
I think Ninja is going to be the... Wait, that's Final Fantasy III music.
Yep.
Was it just me, or did Ninja's artifact look like Shadow?
It looked exactly like Shadow. That
my
was not
goodness.
just you.
All right.
My jaw was on the floor. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I'm super excited. You gotta tell us about what we just saw.
2.3, 2.3,
class,
come on, come on, come on.
job.
これ、新しいクラス、新しいジョブじゃないですか。
はい、どうも事前に割とね E3 できっとそのニュークラスニュージョブが出るんじゃないかって皆さん言ってて、割とそのエクスパンション拡張で入るニュークラスとニュージョブの発表なんじゃないかと思っている方がかなり多かったと思うんですけど、
So before E3, a lot of people were speculating that there would probably be a reveal of a new class, a new job that's going to be released at the expansion pack at that timing.
Right.
But
エクスパンションってもうちょっと先だし、今年ねファンフェスをロスとラスベガスとそれからロンドンと
He's being so impish. I'm working off the Yoshi-P
talking about
video.
まだまだ情報出す機会ってあるわけですよ。でここで出すってことはそう遠くない方がねもちろんいいと思うんで。
So, again, we talk about the expansion, though, but expansion is still kind of far off.
Yeah.
And, we have the Fan Fest coming up in October in Las Vegas, London, and in Japan. And probably at that timing, we'll talk more about the expansion. But the expansion is still far off for now. So we wanted to talk about something that's coming a little bit sooner than the expansion.
Sooner.
なのでパッチ 2.4 ではいニュークラスニュージョブ
That's right. You heard it here first.
Hi.
Patch 2.4.
2.4?
で
2.4!
Oh,
Yeah.
まあ
damn!
見てもらって分かる通り双剣士ね2つのこう武器を持って戦うんですけど
So, as you saw in the video, both of them were dual-wielding classes. They both had weapons in both hands.
Yes.
So,
まあぶっちゃけ言ったらシーフですよね
so I mean, it's okay. It's like a thief.
Okay.
It's not called a thief.
Like a thief.
It's like a thief.
まあただそのファイナルファンタジー14の世界だとその各クラスってやっぱりギルドがあってでギルドの中で技を覚えて教官がいて、まあ、習って覚えていくのにさすがにシーフはちょっとどうなんだろうとだからまあかつて彼らはシーフと呼ばれてた時代もあって、まあ、それがその戦いの中でこうまあこなれていって、まあ、最終的にはゲームの中では双剣士って呼ばれてるっていう状態になってるので。
Okay, so I mean, you have the classes in Final Fantasy XIV. They fit in with the story. Each class has their own guild and they have their own history. And so when we're thinking of creating a new class and a class that would have its own guild, you think thieves, and that's more like petty thievery.
Yeah.
You want something a little bit more solid. So the story-wise, this new rogue class, they were once thieves, and they over the years have evolved into this rogue class with their own guild, and they'll have their own story and own background.
I mean, obviously, you wouldn't want to host a thieves guild probably in your own city, so makes
But
sense.
is it a tank?
そうですね。やっぱこうシーフのギルドだ
We'll
とちょっ
probably
と
get more information about that
街としてはね。
after
そうなんだ
2.3.
よ
Probably.
盗賊の集団をね放置している町ってどうだって話になっちゃう
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, it's like, yeah, why would a city even allow something like that? And so we wanted to make it something that would fit more with the world.
ただまあだからこそそのシーフのイメージちゃんと組んで作ってはあるつもりなので
But again, they do have that thief history, so we want to make sure that in the lore and in the story that, you have that feeling of, they came up from thieves and that thief.
だからちょっとだけアナウンスすると特性として通常時から移動速度が速いです他のクラスより
And so, just to tell you a little bit about the new class,
Yes.
one thing is that movement speed in the field will be a little bit faster than other classes.
であと、落下ダメージがないとかね
And also, fall damage
まあ
from
軽減
falling.
ですね
That fall damage will be cut,
Nice.
So it won't be as much as other classes.
Nice.
They'll be more nimble.
であとはさっきその動画の中にありましたけど毒を使うので 武器に毒を塗って、
And then, as you saw in the video, there was a part where it kind of went like this with the swords or with the knives, and there was a little bit of poison on the blades.
Effect, yeah.
That will be a part of the job as well. That the class will be able to use poison as part of their class actions.
だからまあ複数の毒があるの
That's gonna
で
be、
まあ
helpful.
場面に応じてね、どの毒を使うみたいなことを変えながら戦う。
And there'll be multiple kinds of poison, and the thief or the rogue. Sorry, you made me say thief.
I didn't even.
You were looking at me with
Rogue.
your thief eyes. So the rogue will be able to use different types of poisons for different types of situations.
あとはそうですね、ステルサーなのでステルスが使えて、まあ、ステルス中のみ使える技とかもあるので、まあ、その辺はぜひこれからのまた情報公開を楽しみにしておいてくれればいいなと。
And also, it's going to be a stealth type class, and so there will be stealth type actions, and there will be actions that you can only do when in that stealth mode. So.
Nice.
で、そうだね、
Oh, yeah, yeah.
ちょっとスクリーンショットあるね。まあ今話してたのこいつ？どっち？こっち？
Yeah. Here we have a screenshot of the rogue class.
でまあ見てわかる通りダガーを短い剣を、使い
That does
ま
look
す。で
really
左右それぞれ武器があるわけじゃなくて、
Yes, it
文句と同じように一つの武器で一対2本の武器が一対になっているという状態です。
Okay, so you see the size of the blades is smaller than a regular sword. So main will be like daggers, knives, things like that. And it won't be holding a different item in each hand. It will be like the monks, their sets of fists and knuckles.
Okay.
You'll purchase or
I
you'll
knew
find
it.
a
Nope.
set of
Not doing
knives
the
and
offhand
you'll
thing with
use
those.
that set.
であとね、上部の方が忍者になります。
And here is a screenshot of the ninja jaw.
これカメラ寄れないんですかね？
Yeah,
これ
ninja is the job.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
寄れない。寄れ
Here we
る。
go. Here we
寄
go.
れる。
Here we go.
That is
Very
awesome.
Very reminiscent of Amato's art for Shadow.
まあこれあれ
Totally.
ですね、忍者のまあジョブ専用装備を着てる状態。
Yeah. This is going to be the equipment that he's wearing now is going to be that ninja specific
The artifacts.
equipment.
で忍者の方はまあそのシーフじゃないや、双剣士の毒の特性に加えて陰を使います。陰。
Okay, so the ninja job.
カメラ戻そう。
Ooh.
そう。
It's okay.
Get it
It's
off
like
me.
it zoomed up on your face.
Yoshi does the new job.
But the new job, the new ninja job, will not only incorporate the dual wielding and the poisons that are used by the rogue, but also add the ninjutsu and the mudra, which are like hand gestures,
Oh, okay.
like this,
Okay.
or like this.
Yeah,
It's,
we're not
based
ninjas, so we
yeah,
don't.
so we're not ninjas, so we don't know. But it will based on those type of moves.
なのでよく海外の方がイメージする忍者にかなりなってるんじゃないかなと。でその陰もまあいくつかの陰があってそれを組み合わせてまあ一通りじゃないのでいくつかの組み合わせがあるので陰をきちんとバトル中に結んで失敗しないようにきちんと陰を完成させて、まあ、あとは忍術を使ってっていう本当に、まあ、まさに忍者って感じの内容になってます。
So for these actions and how these mudra are used, it's basically there are different types of mudra and they will be used in combinations and the player will choose the combinations and if they get correct combinations it will turn into a certain type of ninjutsu and you can also fail it as well if you do wrong combinations and so
Also,
it'll
it's
be
going
up
to
to the player
actually
how
be
to use
chakra
these.
manipulation.
でさっき、
Yeah.
動画では結構早く動いてたのでそのポジションが結構忙しいのかなっていうイメージ持つかもしれないですけど文句と
I
は
suddenly
違う
picture
ので
about 10 or 20
そんなにポジション
Kakishis
取り
appearing
が
on screen.
激しい
Yep.
クラスジョブじゃないんですけど、きっちりその毒だったり陰だったり忍術っていうのをちゃんとコントロールしないと、ダメージが出せないようになってるので、まあ、そのあたりの研究をぜひ、ね、 してってもらえればなと思って。
And battle-wise, in the video, it looked like the ninja and the rogue were moving around a lot, and so maybe some players might be worried that positioning during battle is going to be kind of difficult. They're going to have to be doing a lot more motion, moving around, getting into the right positions. But we want to assure the players that it's not going to be as stressful as maybe as Monk. It's going to be more about using the right combination of these mutters or using the right combination of poisons, and that will be the focus.
Okay, that's good. It's
まあ、あ
not
と
going
は
to be
ね、
as position heavy.
タンクとかヒーラーとかね、他のクラスジョブはないのかって話だと思いますけど、それはまた拡張にもいろいろ作ってますんで、またお知らせできる機会があれば。
And we know that there's a lot of players out there that are going, okay, where's our tank? Where's our healer? We are working on those new classes and jobs for the expansion. So.
Ninja is not a tank.
So does that mean that
Tank and the healer will be in the expansion.
Focused all DPS. Yes.
All right.
Cool. So there you go. I mean, that's the very first reveal of our new class, our new job. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. There's one question I have to ask because I watched that video like 100 times when I got it. It's just on loop when I getting ready for E3. Yeah. So the part where the ninja jumps on top of the monster's head, stabs down. So can he do that to every monster in the game?
もうビデオもらってから100回ぐらいは繰り返し見てるんですけど、やっぱこう気になったところが一つだけあって、それが忍者が飛んでモンスターの頭にグサッとこう剣を刺さってるところあるんですけど、あれって全てのエオルゼア内の全てのモンスターでできることなんですか？
まあちゃんとねイフリートの頭にも行きますし、あとその辺にいる昆虫テントウムシとかに乗ってあるんで。
Yeah, I mean from Ifrit to ladybugs.
Nice.
You can.
That's gonna be such a trolly move.
That's right. Well, ninjas go for the kill. So whether it be a ladybug or a squirrel or mandragora.
Nice.
Just don't get off of Garuda.
例えばですけど、じゃあ例えばタイタンの場合ってどこに刺しに行くんだろうとかっていうのはぜひねリリースされたら皆さんいろいろやってみてほしい。
I mean, I guess the positioning is going to be different for each monster, and so for example, like Titan, where are you going to stab Titan? That's you guys will have to just try it yourself.
Interesting.
はい。
I wonder if that would be able
awesome.
to put
Hope
you
you guys
back
are
on the
excited.
arena if you fall off.
I'm sure we'll have much more to come on Rogue and Ninja. So, guys, make sure you look forward to it. Okay, let's move on right back to our questions. Next up, will we ever see more fates like Behemoth and Odin in the future that give, kind of the exclusive rewards or exciting different rewards?
Okay. 難易度の高いベヒモスとかオーディンのようなフェイト、特別な報酬が出るフェイトは、今後、用意されるんでしょうか？
そうですね。今パッチ 2.3 でそのモブハントっていう仕組みを入れてるので、それで大体一旦そのフィールドにバーッと置いていくものとしては一通り揃うかなと思ってるので、その後でまた大きなその難易度の高いものだったりフェイトの難しいやつだったりっていうのは考えていこうかなと思ってるので、ないとはもちろん言わないです。
Okay. So starting in for patch 2.3, we have something a little bit different planned. We have the hunt planned, and during the hunt there'll be lots of different types of NMs and new monsters being added. As for fates that are like Odin and Behemoth, we are, of course, not going to rule out having some of those in the future, and we'll think about it. But again, for 2.3, we're going to focus on the hunt, and then from there, think about new fates.
Nice. That makes sense. Okay, next up. Can we get a minstrel's ballad battle that pits us against the Imperial generals from the end of the main scenario?
はい。じゃあ、
Got the feeling they're not as satisfied with Behemoth and Odin and how they've turned out.
あると思うんですけど、そこでリトアティーンとかリュウヤとかネロ3人と戦うそのような違法の詩人が
No, I'm not blaming them.
今後追加されるでしょうか。
We've complained about that before.
まあ違法の詩人次第じゃないですか。あの人がどんな歌を歌うか次第。
It all depends on the wandering minstrel.
ただ実は面白くて、僕ら今そのファンフェスに向かってそのファンフェスで楽しめるようなイベントのバトルをなんか作ろうかって話をしてた時に実は出たネタではあります。メインストーリーの中に出てきた帝国四天王と同時に4人と戦うようなバトルを作ろうかって話をしてたんですけど、最終的に実はもっとというかもっと楽しめるというかプレイヤーの皆さんが そうきたかっていうコンテンツを1個用意しようとしてて、こっちは1回ペンディングになってるんですけど、まあ、今回リクエストがあって、僕らバトルボイスも全部用意されてるし技も全部あるので、いずれ何かのタイミングで作っていきたいなとは思ってますね。彼らあれだけで終わるのはちょっともったいないので。
So for FanFest coming up in October, we're creating special content for those events. And one of the first ideas that came up from the development team was to create a battle where you fought not only the 3 generals, but the 4 generals. And that was one of our first ideas. But since then, a better idea has come up, and so we decided to go in that direction instead. However, this is a really good idea. We still think it's a really good idea. And because we got this question, we know there's interest from the fans. So in the future, we would like to do something like this. We think it would be, really fun. We have all the battle voices. They all have their special moves. Why not have a battle where you could fight all 3 or 4?
4, yeah. That sounds
Awesome.
Okay, what is the status on personal housing? Lately we've been talking about,
Here goes the bingo card.
Your own room, but
Yep.
where are we at with personal housing?
今回そのハウジングの方で、今後その個人の部屋はできたとしても、個人用のハウジングっていう話は前にあったと思うんですけど、その話は進んでますでしょうか？
もちろんもう作業していて、パッチ 2.3 ではそのフリーカンパニーのハウスに、個人ルームが実装されますけど、多分個人で家が買えるっていうのは 2.38 かな、35多分間に合わないかどうかっていう感じなので、ただパッチ 2.4 までは引っ張らないとは思います。急いでやってるので、なのでもうちょっとお待ちいただけたらなと思います。
Okay. So private housing has not gone away. It's still on our list. It's been okayed. It's just that we're still not ready for that yet. So in 2.3, we'll be releasing private chambers. So it's a private room for players within the free company's estate. And we hope to have private housing for individuals by at the latest 2.38, and before 2.4. So.
Nice.
So are they going to make it so it's kind of like in rooms?
So I don't know if everyone at home has seen our new
Before
E3
2.4.
trailer we just released. We just released it earlier, I think right at the start of E3, and it had a cool look at a lot of different primals in Final Fantasy XIV. And I think at the end, I'm pretty sure I can confidently say that was totally Shiva, right? I mean, that was Shiva. Like, can you tell us some about Shiva?
今回、公開された E3 用のトレーラーで、晩神はほぼ全部出てきたんですけど、その一番最後に、シヴァらしき、もの。
Shiva's pretty cool.
シヴァですよね。あれシヴァですよね。
バイクにはなってな。
Oh, come on, nothing? I thought that was gold. That was gold.
Not a motorcycle, not a Shiva.
Good, she's not a motorcycle.
The
い
real
や
Shiva.
違うんです。今回そのパッチ 2.3 ってまあラムーなので、ラムーでポスターをね、その E3 のポスターを作ろうとしたらおじいさんなのであんまかっこよくないって。
I wouldn't be afraid to have a Shiva bike as a mount.
When they were,
Titan Lowrider.
Make a poster for E3 to show everyone. Okay, 2.3, Ramu's coming up. Let's make a poster of this old guy with a long beard. It just wasn't sexy enough.
特にね、アメリカの PR チームからラムはないんじゃないですかと。
Yeah, our US PR team, our marketing team was like, yeah, I don't know about Ramu.
なので、じゃあもう芝を出そうかと。なので、この後やってくる慢心だと思ってもらえればもちろんいいですし、微妙にこれからその芝のストーリーって結構実は長い。パッチ 2.3 からじわじわもう始まっていくので、そんなにパッチ 2.4 でこうボーンと出てくるというよりも、ここからはその、拡張パックに向かって話もどんどんシリアスだったり長いストーリーになっていったりするので、そこら辺も注目してぜひ見といてくれればいいかなと思います。
Okay, so again, because the PR team was like, we decided to go with the sexier Shiva instead.
Probably a wise choice.
Yeah, and the Shiva story, even though Shiva won't be appearing in 2.3, the Shiva story will start to begin because Shiva has a very long and complicated story that ties in with the whole main story and where we're going in the future into the expansion. And so we want to start talking about it in 2.3 and then in 2.4 build up to the appearance of Shiva, and then go from there even. And so it's all going to be tying in. So players can look forward to hearing about, learning about Shiva in the next patch, even though she won't be there.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, people have been super happy to see Shiva. They're like, oh man, what's she going to do? What's it going to look like? And so the E3 trailer today, people are getting really excited now. So that's awesome.
シバは期待の晩シーンなので、すごい楽しみに待ってます。
そうですね、やっぱファイナルファンタジーっていうとやっぱりイフリート、ねラム、シバってまあやっぱり絶対出てほしい、特に、ね、召喚獣だと思うのでやっとバハムートも含めてですけど、まあ、勢ぞろいするのかなと。
I mean, yeah, when you talk about the Final Fantasy series and you talk about, you know, the primals, the espers, or those summons in those series, it's all like Ifrit, Ramu, Shiva. It's you know, the top three. And so finally we get to release Shiva to the fans.
Nice. Okay, so here's one we've been getting kind of a lot on the forums. Have you thought about adding some 8-man dungeons? Because currently, right now, the only 8-man dungeons are the main scenario dungeons from the story mode. So players are looking for kind of a bigger challenge.
今現在フルパーティー向けのインスタンスってメインシナリオのインスタンスがなくて、で今後そのフルパーティー向けのインスタンスを追加する予定はありますでしょうか。
なんだろう、世界中でやっぱりそれぞれのコミュニティとかそれぞれのプレイスタイルでやっぱりすごく言われることが違って、例えば4人向けのダンジョンをもっとたくさん欲しいとか、8人向けだと人数集めるのが大変なんでもっと減らしてほしいとか、逆にソロでダンジョンへ行きたいとか、本当にたくさんフィードバックがあるので、まあ、順番に一つずつやっぱり答えていくしかないのかなと。で8人向けの作るのはそんなに難しくはないんですけど、やっぱり8人その8人用のコンテンツがたくさんあってもやっぱりなかなか8人集めるのが大変という部分もあるとは思うので、まあ、それよりは僕ら晩神のバトルで、気軽にボスだけチャレンジできるってものを、たくさん作ってまずは行く方がいいのかなと。でどうしても8人用のダンジョンってなるとギミックも難しくなっていってはしまうので、ちょっとそれよりはダンジョンはできるだけ4人とか、あとは4人で行けるダンジョンをソロで入れるようにしたりとかっていうことを考えつつで、ちゃんと回り始めたらまた8人をチャレンジで出してみようかっていうふうにやっていく可能性はあるのかなと。
長いです。That was long. I think I got most of it. I think I got most of it.
大丈夫、優秀だからマイケル。大丈夫。
Again, we realize that because this is a global game and released all over the world, that there are a lot of different needs for the different communities, for our Western communities and for the Japanese communities or communities in Australia, wherever. And each community has different styles of playing and different needs. And so we get a lot of comments from different communities saying, okay, some people, they want more light party rates. They want more 4-person content. Then we get people that say we want less 8-person content because it's very difficult to get 8 people together. And then there's also those people that say they want to go solo into those dungeons, go in by themselves and have solo dungeon type of content. Right. And so, because people all over the world are asking for all 3, we want to do all 3. We want to be able to provide for each group, but we can only do one at a time. And so we look at prioritizing which is better. And we do realize that it is very difficult sometimes to get 8 players to get together to do that type of instance content. And so we want to work on first doing what we've been doing, like getting those primal battles, getting light party content in there first. And then maybe working on getting those solo dungeon runs in as well. And then once we've cleared that, move into that 8-person content. Even
that
for us, it's difficult
legitimate.
to create 8-person content because there's more for us to do because there's more types of traps and more types of the gimmicks that that the monsters use, different mechanics, exactly. And so it's difficult for us to create those. And so we want to make sure that there's real interest for those from around all the different communities before we actually take the time and effort to go in and make them, because we want to make them great.
Right.
Good job.
Wow, you got it all. That's great. Okay, so one of the questions we've been getting a lot lately too is for people that are in huge, really large free companies. They've been talking about there's not a lot that they can do as a really large, big free company. Not something that all their members can be involved in. So have you been thinking about creating, content that's kind of centers around these huge large communities.
ですね、やっぱフリーカンパニーってもこう何十人何百人と大きなフリーカンパニーもあると思いますけど、
はい、
そのフリーカンパニー向けのコンテンツ、みんなで一緒に参加してできるコンテンツは考えてるんでしょうか。
これもやっぱりすごい超巨大フリーカンパニーから、4人で仲良くコツコツやってるフリーカンパニーまで本当にたくさんあるので、例えばフリーカンパニー全員で一つの、ね、バトルエリアに入って戦いますみたいなやつ、それ4人でもプレイできなきゃいけないし、なんか200人でもプレイできなきゃいけないって言われると何を作っていいかわからなくなってしまうので、さすがになんかこう一つのコンテンツでそれをやるつもりって今のところないんですけど。
Okay. So, as you know, there are many different types of free companies.
Sure,
Some
yeah.
free companies who have 200 members. Some free companies, it's just a group of 4 or 5 friends that get together.
Yep.
And so when you think of having a type of battle, where everyone in a free company goes to an area, and when we have to design it, do we design it for 200 people or do we design it for 4 people? Right. If we design it for 200 people, then the free companies with 4 people can't play it.
Right, exactly.
And so it's very difficult for us to create that type of content. So right now we're currently not thinking of that type of content.
で今その代わり計画しているのが、そのフリーカンパニー自身がいくつかの
Well, then I mean, that would be lovely. We could use that for all kinds of content.
その目標に向かってフリーカンパニーに所属している人たちでいろんなそのヨーロッパ内の活動をすると、なんだろう、コンテンツがクリアになるみたいな遊びを今考えていて、パッチ 2.4 までには何かしらまたアナウンスが出せるのかなとは思います。そんな遠くなくやろうとはしているので。
Okay. So, but however, we do realize that players want more content for the free companies, more activities. And so what we're thinking of now is creating something where maybe a list of maybe quests or goals, and the free company will decide which of these they want to do, and certain people in the free company will go and achieve those goals to work together to do something big. So rather than doing everything together, it's people in the group doing separate things and then combining that all together as one. And we hope to have that in by patch 2.4.
Nice.
で選ぶことによって、人数の少ないフリーカンパニーからすごく多いフリーカンパニーまで自分たちで決められるようにすることで、どっちその人数に関わらず楽しめるような遊びにしたいなと話してます。
Star Trek Online has a similar system where, fleets have entire projects that everyone can contribute to.
Everyone can participate, and with the small ones, everyone is going to have to do everything, but they can do it they can complete it as well.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Oh, that's cool. So here's one we've been getting a lot as well. Will we ever see a return of unique stats and enhancements in weapons and armor like we had in version 1.0?
OK. 以前の、レターライブで、さらなるマテリアクラフトの仕組みを検討してるっていうふうに。
No, this one's about the, from
今の違うよ、質問。
Where it's like shield bash plus 20.
今多分武器にスペシャルなプロパティが欲しいっていう質問だよ。
OK. OK. The enhancements. OK.
本当にアメリカ人
No.
Don't worry.
No. Okay, I got this right. Yes. So, yeah, do we
will we see a return of those, previously relics would have shield bash plus 10 or
okay, so it would affect
jump plus 20
got it.
things like that.
以前の旧 FF14 で例えば一つの武器にアクションの効果がアップするっていうようなエフェクトがあったと思うんですけど、それは今後考えているのでしょうか。
今のところつけてない理由ってどうしてもそのプレイヤーの方ってじゃあどれが一番そのプロパティの中で有効なんだろう。
Yeah, that's generally kind of a.
結局それってテンプレート化されていて。
I think we need to trim up the existing stat systems before we start adding specific stats like that.
Well, it's not even that. I mean,
みんな
it
が
would
そ
only
れを
affect
使ってく
certain
れる
aspects
こ
of
とを
it
前提にして調
versus
整していくと、
something like, say,
ますますそ
determination
の武
which
器が
would
外せ
affect
なくなってい
everything.
ったり
Yeah.
していくので。
Would you rather have shield bash plus 10 or determination plus 10?
慎重に今そのバトルコンテンツの例えば難易度だったりバランスっていうものをその ARR をプレイしてくれてる皆さんの中にだいぶ出来上がってきたかなと思うので、これからちょっと考えていってもいいのかなと。変化が欲しいということに関してはすごいよくわかるので。
So, I mean, one of the the worries about doing that is that when you create this template that okay, this weapon will improve this,
Right.
everyone starts using that for the same battles, which means that when we design a new battle, we have to assume that everyone will have this and they will use this and that it will affect this.
Becomes
And
like a requirement
Yeah, it
almost.
becomes like a requirement. And we didn't want to do that up until now just because it makes it less interesting for the players. It reduces the amount of choices that they have.
Right.
But we do realize now that there is more interest in these types of effects on the weapons. And so we think it's maybe time to start thinking about adding these things.
だからまあ
Well, if they're
やら
adding
ない
it
っ
to
て
the
いうわけではないんですけ
weapons
ど
as secondary
すご
stats, I
く
can
バランスに
kind of
関してはやっぱり
agree with that,
慎重なのが
but not to
割と
armor.
14のチームの特徴だったりするのでただリクエストはすごいよく分かってますし変化が欲しいってことは僕もプレイヤーとして思うことなので
I still
慎重
would
に検
prefer
討
if
して
they
いきま
kept
す。
this
I
just
mean,
like
we understand
determination
that the
grid.
players want
I agree.
some kind of change, but then on the other hand, we've always been very aware that balance is a key in battle, and we're very careful. The development team is very careful in maintaining that balance that we
Right.
have, and we want to find a happy medium, where players are excited about change, but the balance stays
maintained.
be maintained.
Makes sense. All right, now this is one that we've been hearing a lot recently as well. So in the past, we've talked about airship building.
Oh.
We've talked
Oh,
about,
hi.
maybe this is something that free companies do. You maybe have something that you can build airships. Whatever happened to that? Whatever, something.
だいぶ前なんですけど、飛空艇を、フ
He's
リー
got
カ
a
ンパニー
picture!
で、制作できるようになるっていう話が出てたと思うんですけど、その話はどうなりましたでしょ
何ブツブツ言ってんの
What do you have there in your hand? お
まあ前にねフリーカンパニーのハウジングの中にクラフトの工房を、専用に作って、そこで飛空艇なんかをみんなで作れるといいねという話をしてたんですけどちゃんと進んでます。
So, I mean, before we talked about, maybe having some kind of workshop for disciples of the hand within free company housing. Well, yes, we haven't forgotten. We are currently working on this.
Oh,
Zooming in
yes.
slowly
Yes.
Awesome.
onto
I need to have that.
Slowly.
Getting closer.
There we go.
Oh my god, that'll be perfect for my free
ちゃんと見えてる
company.
かな
See, Yoshida-san.
Are you guys still taking applications?
まあまあ
The
ね
glare.
Just that-
Yes, yes, we are. And hey, look, there's the classified stickers.
これが
Let's knock
地
that
下
off.
に
Yep. I don't think we're gonna get a full row though.
So
ま
what you see here is a basement in the for the estate.
あここの真ん中で何かね巨大なものを
You
みん
see
なで
that in there?
建造
You
し
see
て
something is being created there in the middle.
でまずは飛空艇かなっていう話をしてるんですけどあまりにも巨大なねものをこう作ろうとするとすっごい巨大な工場をハウジングの地下に作んなきゃいけないのでちょっと魔法の力で模型のようにミニチュアって言ったって相当でかいですけどそれをみんなで作って実際出陣するときはフルサイズになるみたいな設定で地下工房を今
Looks more like a Garlean airship
I mean,
than one
when we
of
think
the
about the
Eorzean
one of the
ones.
first things we want players to be able to make
Right.
in these workshops is an airship. But then you think, okay, an airship is huge.
Yeah.
How are you going to fit that in your basement?
Right.
And so they'll be
I ask
using
myself that every day.
because you're trying to build an
Yes.
airship in home. But they will be using the power of magic to condense the size,
make it
of your airship to make
manageable.
it manageable, and then you'll be working on that. But then once you release it outside of the magic will be gone, and the airship will
Nice.
work
そう
on
いう
something.
そういう設定にすることで将来的に何でも、ね、
So it's
そこで
using
建造
Transformer
できるようになると思ってるのでそれもまたアップデートし
Kind
て
of
いけ
like
る
when
コンテンツ
Soundwave
として
transforms
今
from
ちょうど
giant
ね
robot to
アート
tiny
が
cassette player.
ラフですけどまだ上がったので作り始めてま
And
す。
so, I mean, by using the magic of making something miniature, you can go beyond just airships. You can create other large things as well. And we have some ideas, and hopefully we'll be able to release those soon. The art is currently underway. So
Nice. So I'm sure you guys are taking screenshots of everything that he holds up, and when you go back and look at it, you'll notice a little white silhouette. That's actually the size of a person inside that huge
ここ
room.
これを注目すると
I'm sure once
これ
you
が
guys
ああそうですね
人間のサイズです
そうですね白く後でまた動画を見直してもらったりするといいと思うんですけど人のスケールとが書いてあってさっきのアートの中で、まあ、もう一回出した方が早いのかな
If you look at it again, yeah, you can see what Matt was talking about. The little white silhouette down at the bottom shows the scale
なかな
of
か
the
日本の
workshop.
ようにパッと寄ってくれないな
There we go.
Go.
まあまあこれがね
That's the person.
白い
That's,
そう人ですね
represents a
まだ全体サイズそれでわかるかな
yeah, it's fairly large,
Pretty massive. That's awesome.
even with a miniature aircraft.
But is it a Lalafell or a Rogadi?
まあ一人のクラフターで作るっていうよりは
I'm assuming it here for basic standards.
複数のクラフターで
I'm just saying, you know, it
カンパニー
it does
全体で
influence it a
力を合
little
わせて作って
bit.
いくみたいなイメージで今開発中なので
And-
また実機でね
Yeah, but
入れ
it's
る
hard
日
to
が
tell
来た
with no
ら
banana.
ちゃんとお見せしていこうかなと
The theme behind it will be, I mean, there's only one person shown on this artwork, but it's going to be multiple
Right.
disciples of the hand
Everybody down there.
in the free company will be down there working on it together. It'll be something that the whole free company can get behind and participate in. So.
Ties back into our previous
Awesome.
question.
Awesome. Awesome.
Next up, this is one that we talked about a lot when we were leading up to the launch of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. But what happened to the concept of primals that were roaming around
Ooh,
around the
gonna bring
land
up this
that
question.
Free companies could capture
Sure, and then
or,
summon.
and then use?
ああいや
以前に、だいぶ前なんですけど、エウルゼア内で、蛮神たちが、もうあちこちのマップで登場してそれでフリーカンパニーが戦ってそれで召喚できるようになるという話は、リリース前にあったと思うんですけど、その話はどうなりましたでしょうか。
普通にまだタスクの中には入ってますよいつやるかっていう話をしてるだけでやめるつもりもないしいずれやりますけどシナリオに合わせて、まあ、どのタイミングでやろうかなって感じではありますはい
So yeah, this has not gone away. It's still on our list of tasks. We haven't gotten rid of the idea. We're still working on it, but we're still trying to figure out a way to work it into the story. We want to work it into that main scenario and have it feel natural, not just happen.
Not just something. Oh, there's Ifrit.
Yeah.
I got him.
Just strolling
cool.
along,
Makes
Ifrit hops up on
So
the side of the
another
road.
big one for the English-speaking
What's up?
community is what is up with the marriage system? Could you give us some more information about the
Uh-oh,
marriage
touchy
system we talked
subject.
about?
結婚システムについて、いろいろ多分フォーラム
はい
で盛り上がってるんですけど、どうなります
Oh man, his face.
今、実装しようとしているのが、エオルゼアの中で、2人のプレイヤーが、まあ、愛を誓い合うっていうその儀式というかシステムを、開発していてで仕様としてはもうフィックスできたんですけど、その儀式は、あらゆる種族、まあ、同じ種族でもいいし異なる種族でもいいですし、性別に関しても、同性でも異性でも構わずそのプレイヤーが、愛を誓い合うっていう儀式なので、そこは性別も関係ないですっていう作りでやってるので、今のところパッチ 2.4 を目指して結構大規模なものになるので。
Okay, we're currently working on this type of system, hopefully to release patch 2.4. We have a lot of stuff planned, but the gist of it is players, two players within Eorzea will be able to pledge their eternal love and or / friendship in a ceremony of eternal bonding. And this will be open to people regardless of race, creed, and gender.
Yes!
Two players, if they want to be together in Eorzea, they can
Yes.
through this eternal bonding ceremony.
そうですね。
Oh,
エオル
talk
ゼアの
about progressive.
まあ
All
愛を誓い合う
right.
別に性別や種族は関係ないよねっていう。
That's
Policies.
exceptionally
We,
progressive,
we
especially for a
discussed it and
Japanese
we
game.
realized that, within Eorzea,
I think my stream is on a
why
little bit of a
should there be
delay from yours. I
restrictions
didn't.
on, who pledges their love or friendship to each other, and so we decided to go this way.
It's great news.
まあその愛を誓い合った2人のみがね乗れる専用のマウントとかもあるので、ぜひ。
It's not the Manderville,
And,
but
we're thinking of special things such as special mounts that only people that have pledged their friendship or love can ride it together maybe.
Nice. Now I just need to convince my wife to marry me again in game so we can possibly get some awesome reward.
Poor Bayoheen.
Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Loot.
That's what makes the world go round.
That's what makes the world go round.
Okay, so another question we've had,
right.
because we have Frontline coming in 2.3. Something that's come up again is, do we have any plans to add dueling? So one-on-one kind of
Yes,
challenge.
please.
これからフロントラインの、
はい
大きな規模の、PVP コンテンツが、
うん
実装されるんですけど、
うん
1対1の、決闘のような PVP は、検討されているのでしょうか。
あんまりそのシステム的に楽しいのかなっていうところがあってなんだろう、コンテンツとして作るのはあんまり想定はしてないですね。ただテスト的にデュエルがしたいっていう、ところはあるのかなと。 DPS そのプレイヤー同士戦って DPS 確認したいとかっていうモチベーションはありそうな気はするので、何らかの形で、デュエルがテスト的にどっかでできるみたいなのは考えますけど、あんまりコンテンツとしてはまだ考えてないです。
As for actual, hardcore set in-game content, we're not really thinking of it just because we don't know if we can make it into a system that's actually that fun, system-wise. But we do realize that a lot of players out there want to have these duels to maybe check their DPS, check their current weapons or armor and see how it's working, and use this as that type of test. And we understand that. And so, creating a dueling system that would allow players to do that is something that we definitely consider.
Awesome.
今のさ
And you can use it for story
PVP
stuff.
での DPS を確認したいね。今の言い方だとさ PVE の DPS をチェックできるじゃん、人形でになっちゃわない
じゃあ PVP での
やっぱり、
Okay.
そのお互いのダメージチェックをしたいみたいなのはあるだろう。
Okay, yeah, so just to clear that up, it wouldn't be PvE DPS because you can already use the striking dummies to do that. It would be PvP, your PvP weapons and your PvP armor, checking that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, for the Zodiac weapons in the future, players have been wondering, will we be able to see, some kind of special visual, visual that makes it stand out? That maybe different animations or different sounds or something for your skills or things like that. They really want to show off all the hard work.
ゾーディアックウェポ
はい
ンでやっぱ一生懸命作ってきたものなので、やっぱ将来的にその各武器に専用のエフェクトとかサウンドを追加される予定はありますでしょうか。
ノウスの次の段階がもう今作り始めてるんですけど、そのノウスの次の段階で、今のレリック見た目に対してギミックがそれぞれにくっつきますね。可動部分というか。
Okay, so we have the Novus weapons right now. The next grade after Novus, we do plan on having something that will change the appearance.
で、今のゾディアックウェポンシリーズのラストというか、僕がもともとエクスカリバーっていうシステムで始めたシステムですけど、
I heard Excalibur.
見た目がもう
I did
当時本当
too.
にゾディアックブレイブの連
If I
中
were
が
not
使ってた
so annoyed with the whole Atmos system, I'd be a little more excited about that. But
姿が変わる時が来ると思うので、楽しみにしておいてもらえればいいなと。きっちり時間がかかるコンテンツですし、その分制限なく、皆さんのそれぞれのペースでやってもらうコンテンツだからこそ長時間かかりますけど、ちゃんと長時間かけたなりのリワードというか見た目もそうですけど用意するつもりでいるので、ぜひね楽しみにしておいてほしい。
So, and then again, even after this next installment that comes after Novus, we do have, someday there'll be a final version, like what we imagine as that Excalibur type of weapon, and what the actual Zodiac Graves actually used. And so we want to make sure that that is something that's really special, that players will be, that will stand out, and the players that have spent so much time and effort creating these, that they will actually have that reward. They'll be rewarded for their effort in how the weapon looks, not only just the stats, but how the weapon looks and sounds. And so we do have things planned for that.
Okay, that's
Okay,
doesn't
we're getting
excuse the
pretty
grind
close to
now.
the end of our time, but I think
Yeah.
we have time for maybe one or two more questions.
Okay.
So let's see. So players have been talking about the fact that once you've beaten all the extreme primals and you've gotten all your weapons, all the extreme weapons, that those tokens that you get for completing that every week don't really have any purpose. So they're wondering, are there anything that we'll do in the future that would give those tokens?
Okay. まあ極万身の武器を全部
Well, that would be good because we get people to go back to doing Titan
Hi.
Frit.
Yeah, if they no longer have the need for Titan Frit or
はい
whatever.
はいはい
その使い道が今はないんですけど、
はい
今後使い道はあるんでしょう。
まあそうですね、包括したまたその5区を3つ倒したらで今回ってますけど、あれをもっと数増やしてまた新しい何かを仕掛けを作る可能性はありますけど、今のところじゃあそれがパッチ 2.3 で何か使い道があるかというと今のところはないですね。ただせっかくの仕組みだし報酬でもあるので、またいずれ何かその仕組みを使って遊びは考えていくと思います。
じゃあ捨てない方がいいですよね。
まあそうですねただまあもう倒せる人にとってみればサクッと取れちゃうんで、そんなになんかインベントリーをずっとね圧迫するまで取っておく必要があるかって言われるとそこまでじゃなくてもいいのかなっていう気はしますけどね。
Well, I mean, currently for 2.3, we don't have anything planned for these. But in the future, again, there'll be new primal battles. There'll be new, battles that will, allow new opportunities for these tokens. But so I asked him, so should you throw the tokens away? You shouldn't throw the tokens away then. But he said, well, if they're taking up a lot of space in your inventory and you know that you can defeat the primals and just get them again, then maybe,
If you really
need the space,
you're that
it's still a
desperate.
ways off.
あんまりほら何でもさ取っておいた方がいいですよ取っておいた方がいいですよって言うとさインベントリ増やせよって言われるので
Yeah, I mean, the more stuff we say that, oh yeah, you should keep that,
Right.
then players start saying, no, we need more inventory space, we need more inventory space. So we don't want to say you should keep it.
だからたまにはまあ一回捨ててもいいかなって。
You can probably
So
throw these
nothing
away.
within the immediate
You know where to get it.
future.
Okay.
Mm.
Nice. All right, let's do the last question.
Okay.
I think I would be killed if I didn't ask this question.
Uh-oh.
So, is there any update about being able to use your personal Chocobo while you're queued and waiting for a duty?
OK。コンテンツファインダ
あー
ー、待ちが待ってる間に、チョコボ。
それを最後に聞くのがまずい
Yes.
と
I told you they would kill me if I didn't ask it. So,
He asked to save the worst for last.
いやーすっごい分かってるんですよね。
We know that players really want this.
すっごい難しいんですよ本当技術的に。でどうしてもそのマイパッチごとにコンテンツファインダーのアップデートとかその利便性向上ってやってるので、一回それを止めないとやっぱりじっくりやらないと外せないので、ちょっと迷ってるところではあります。やらなきゃいけないのはもちろん分かっていてずっと検証もやってるんですけど難しいんですよね。頑張ります。いつとはもちろん言えないんですけど、まだ言えないんですけどやってますしやらなきゃっていうふうに思っているので、この苦しい質問を最後にするのかお前はっていう。
System-wise, this is it's very difficult, and because it ties directly into the duty finder and all the new content that we add, and we are currently trying, working on it. We're currently trying a lot of different options and trying to find a way to do this. But it's looking like if we wanted to do it, we would have to stop, creating content and stop that to fix this. And is it worth stopping creating new content to fix this? I mean, it is, and we do realize that this is something that's very important and a lot of players are asking for, and it's something we have to do. But trying to find a way that we can do it without affecting other parts of the game is what we're working on now. So we are not going to give up. We're going to continue working on it, but we can't say when it will be implemented.
That's a fair
So
and
no,
reasonable
Choc-
answer.
The hardest question for that.
そうそのチョコボのバディシステムっていつかですけど例えば自分とマイチョコボで例えばダンジョンに行けるとか8人でパーティー組んでも要はチョコボっていうのを大事にパーティーメンバーとして扱うために汎用的にパーティーメンバーとして扱うっていう。
Why do I have a feeling we're going to see a little bit
メリッ
more?
トもこれから先多いんですけど、逆にパーティーがゆ
I
えに
told you we're
ファイ
going
ン
to
ダ
probably close on
ーを
something big.
パーティー状態変わると
Well, that
フ
would-
ァインダーってキャンセル
I
されてし
agreed
まう
with
の
you.
で
That's the only smart thing
どうしても
to
そこに
do.
引っかかっちゃってやっぱりそれを回避するためにはチョコボをパーティーじゃない扱いにしなければいけないんですけど、そうすることによって今度また不利益が出る部分もあるのですごい大変なんです。
Yeah, I mean, we currently designed the buddy system so that, or the companion system, so that your Chocobo is part of your party.
Right,
We're
right.
counting them as part of your
member.
party, as a party member. And so in the Duty Finder, if you go from party member to mount,
solo,
then it's no longer a part of the party, and that affects the Duty Finder in that way. There's a lot of benefits of having the Chocobo as a party member, and we really like those benefits, and we want to keep those. So, saying, okay, then let's just make, the Chocobo back into a non-party member, then you lose some of those benefits that you had as a party member. And so it's about balance and finding, the right way to do this so we can keep those benefits.
Okay. I'll ask one more question so
Yeah.
that we don't end on a hard one and I don't lose my job. So one of the questions we've been getting is, are there any possibilities of having different HUD settings? So like if I'm on DPS class, maybe my HUD is this way, and if I'm on a healer, if I switch over to healer, maybe my HUD changes for...
今はその UI のレイアウトは1個しかできないじゃないですか。でそれを例えば、複数欲しいです。例えばその自分がヒーラーをやってる時にこういう UI のレイアウトが欲しいって、タンクの時はこういうレイアウトが欲しいって、複数の UI レイアウトを保存したい。
なるほどね。いや、わかりますよ。わかりますけど、紐付けが超難しいんですよね。もちろんやれなくはないし、実は UI チームの、ミラ側のタスクリストにも実は入ってたりはするので、できるタイミング、もちろん順番に消化してってますけど、多分できるタイミングが来たらきちんとお話できるんじゃないかなと思います。僕らもあった方がいいと思いますし、アーマリーシステムだからあった方がいいし、ぜひ自分たち
Man, this YouTube comment section is bad even by YouTube comment standards.
That's why I have it
アナウンスで
disabled.
きるんじゃないかなとは思います。はい。
I mean, system-wise, it is definitely possible, and it is currently on the task list of our lead UI guy. But it's just one of those things that's very difficult to implement. But I mean, as a player itself, it's something that he would want. It complements the armory system perfectly, and so it's definitely something that we want to do. And once we have it locked down, then we can make an announcement at that time.
Awesome.
Nice. All right, I think that is going to wrap it up for the Letter from the Producer Live Special E3 edition. I know that you kind of hinted at it a little bit earlier about Fan Festival in October, so maybe you should give them just a hint.
Yes,
of,
yes,
what's
yes.
coming.
Yes.
Or we can say, stay tuned for Letter from the Producer Live Part 15.
やっぱ先ほどファンフェスの話が出てて、ファンフェスの時に拡張の版の話は出てく
No,
る。
tell us now.
もうちょっ
Tell
と
us now.
We want to know now.
最後ですから。
その打ち合わせにないことを聞くなよっていう。
Yeah, what are you doing asking questions that weren't in our rehearsal? He's not ready for them.
そうですね。
I would say tell them to watch the 15th letter would be a good hint.
まあ
その前にね、その次のプロデューサーレターライブ、明日リアルやつ、まずそれを見てから。
いやでもそっちはね、パッチ 2.3 特集パート2だからさ。
Okay, so that's mainly just about 2.3.
Right.
So something about the
まあそうですね。まあチケット制にもなると思うんですけど、ファンフェスはティザーサイトもね、間もなく開くのか開かないのかみたいなね、チケットは早めに取った方がいいのかな、インゲームアイテムもついてきたりするのかなみたいな。これ以上言うとね、本当にそこに隠れてるね、モルモルに超来られるんで、まあこれぐらいですかね。
I heard
At the FanFest, there's been hints that we'll be releasing a special website for the FanFest really soon, and that at that website that you'll be able to purchase tickets, and saying that people should get in there as quick as possible because these tickets will have their premium, and there might be like special in-game items that weren't connected to the tickets that only people with the tickets could get, but can't say anymore because that guy right there is now looking at us with these evil eyes.
まあまあぜひぜひね、情報出していくので楽しみにしておいてほしいなと。
But we'll, there'll be new information coming, as soon as we have it, we'll release it to you. So
Awesome.
Please look forward to it, I think is the term. Right?
There you go. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us. Thank you very much to my guests and answering all the questions. I'm probably going to be fired for those last few questions, but it's been an honor to host. Everybody, hope you guys are looking forward to Letter from the Producer Live Part 15. Takes place on this Thursday. We'll be there translating and posting for you guys. And like you said, Patch 2.3 Part 2. A lot of awesome stuff in Patch 2.3 still to come.
Some new reveals.
Yes, yes. So everybody, please look forward to it and have fun. Have a good E3.
All right. Bye.
All right, let's go into final thoughts then.
Do I have to stop dancing? I'm still really happy about the marriage system. All right, I'll sit down. All
right, so I would probably say that it was a little bit more... Well, I guess the word I'm looking for, it was more detailed than I was expecting, but not in the ways that I was.
It felt like there were more softballs and fewer revelations. I was expecting more reveals. As it was, we kind of got, I don't want to say no reveals, but we got much more in the way of just, and here are some general questions about the game.
Yeah, it felt kind of softballish, so other than that, I'm generally excited now for 2.3 and 2.4.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, Ninja has been something I've been waiting for basically since the game came out because it is basically perfect for my character, in character. So that's something I'm very